5 feet. That's quickly been dashed. It's been a lot of rain this evening and this afternoon. We're going in that direction. Anyone else doing the Cleveland Way is going that way towards Kildale. The weather's not been particularly kind and this is going to be setting all day. And I'm that close to tapping out at the moment. I'm blessed. And I think we'll leave it there.
Get in the car, you use it.
Why does it always have to be cows? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Peak District. It's a little bit unusual for me. I'm not that familiar with this area and I was last here about a year ago when I started my Pennine Way journey. So all of this is pretty much new to me, which I'm quite excited for. And after last week's disaster, more of which I'll talk about later, I think I needed just to get out again and maybe get a night under canvas as well. So I've got my house on my back, or it feels like I've got a house on my back, and I'll be tackling the Edale Skyline. Now it's a 20-mile route and I'm going to break it down over 2 days with a wild camp in the middle. So I've started late in the afternoon and I'll just go until it gets dusky, pitch up, and then finish off whatever I haven't done tomorrow. No time scales. I've not trying to get a particular time or schedule. So I'm just going to take my time on this one and enjoy it. So today's route starts and finishes at Hope railway station, and I've decided to travel here on the train today, so it fits perfectly with my plans. The first objective just behind me, it's been in view a little while, is Win Hill. Should be there in 5-10 minutes, but it's a long old slog up from the valley bottom. It's not particularly steep, but the gradient just seems to go on, and the heat today, it's very humid. Could do with some sun burning through at some point, but it's making for tough going to begin with. But the paths are nice and clear, they're nice and dry, and we should have no difficulty in bagging this first objective. So that was Win Hill at 463 metres, and as we've gained a little bit of height, there's a little bit of breeze as well, which is quite pleasant. It's just taking the edge off that humidity. And you could see from the top of there, Lady Bar Reservoir just stretching out and through the valley. It's glorious. And now for some flat walking for a while and be able to get some miles in pretty quickly at this rate. Well, this is fantastic. Well, I've made it as far as what's shown on the OS map as Hope Cross, and it won't be long before we start climbing again and getting onto the southern edge of Kinder Plateau, and probably done around about 5 miles, something like that anyway. Going's been really easy. Yeah, loving it. Gosh, that's impressive. So That's Win Hill in the centre of your picture, that's where we've come from. Seems miles away. Absolutely fantastic though. Just birdsong everywhere, brilliant. So I'm just going to stop for 5 or 10 minutes and eat this sandwich. I think I've earned it. The weather is set to hold really well tonight and I'm hoping for a glorious sunset. However, in the morning might be a little bit of cloud and showers, so I'll take what I can get for now, but just going to relax for 5. Oh my word, these rock formations are absolutely amazing. Really, really dramatic. And you can just see as well, you know, how far we've come and how high we are at the moment. It's brilliant. I'm just loving this sort of early evening light now. It's getting a lot softer. So that has not been the easiest pitch. Just trying to find a patch of grass big enough, flat enough, without bumps, with space on either side. Been quite difficult, but I think I found somewhere. I'm just below Crowden Tower and I'm going to get my stuff in the tent now and then get set up for something to eat because I'm quite hungry. So tonight's dinner, chili con carne with rice, or chili non carne because it doesn't have any meat in it, it's just a vegan substitute, but it's calories anyway, I'm sure it'll do the trick. And then grenade bar for afters and a cup of hot chocolate, and that'll be me. I think it's about 8:30 now. I'm going to get this on and then get to bed because I'm pretty beat. So I'm just waiting for my chili to cook in the bag. I didn't realise when I brought it with me it takes 15 minutes once you've poured the water in and stirred it for it to be ready. Not sure I can wait that long. This isn't the best pitch I've had. Really struggled to find somewhere that was flat and suitable. It's a little bit bumpy inside, but got my sleeping mat up. I'm pretty sure I'll get a reasonable night's sleep. But this is a beautiful evening. Temperature's dipped a little bit now. It's to be expected. And the skies are going all sort of purples and blues and greys. I'm not sure whether I'll get a dramatic sunset or not, but I'm not too bothered. It's just great to be out. There's no bad wild camping pitch. All wild camping pitches are good, just some are better than others. So I'll take it and just enjoy being out. Got about 10 miles left to do tomorrow. Won't take me very long once I've packed up and got away. Just going to make some easy miles and then finish off over there on Mam Tor and then walk back and down into Hope and wait for the train. So looking forward to this. Right, let's just see if I can show you that. So it does look like a proper chili con carne. Real pieces of rice, real kidney beans. Awesome. So I've really enjoyed today and I'm quite excited for what tomorrow might bring. It's getting dark now. I don't think we're going to get an amazing sunset, so I'm going to close up for the night. I just wanted to mention what happened last week when I went out walking. I did refer to it as a disaster, but it wasn't quite that. So last Thursday night I decided I was going to do the Lyke Wake Walk. I set off from Osmotherley at midnight, walked through the night, and was going pretty well. It was very, very misty, which made visibility down to zero. I was really having to concentrate on my feet until first light anyway, and then it got a little bit easier, but the mist sort of thickened and the rain came in and it was windy and I wasn't getting any view at all. The weather forecast for the rest of the day wasn't set to improve and it was just pretty woeful. So when my mate came to meet me at the Lion Inn or just beyond there with some bacon sandwiches, I decided to knock it on the head. It would have meant my missus coming out to pick me up at Ravenscar as well. The driving conditions weren't brilliant. I didn't want that on my mind as well, so I thought, look, just finish there, tap out, and you can come back and do it another day, and maybe in a couple of weeks I might get back out there and have another go. But today was about just getting out in the tent, somewhere where I've never been before. Not a massive mileage, but just getting out and just enjoying it for what it is. And I'm glad I've done that so far. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to close up now. I'm going to go to bed and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. Got a spectacular sunrise this morning, but it's clear. It's probably going to be clear for the next 2 hours, so I'm quite pleased about that. And I'm also pleased about trying these new coffee bags that Dave sorted me out with. The emergency worker themed coffee by the looks of things. So you've got blues and twos and code 0. So I'm always looking for a decent brew first thing on a morning, struggling to find one, so hopefully these coffee bags will be quite good. Right, let's see what this is like. That's not bad at all. And that's where I was last night. Just a bit of flattened grass, that's all that's left. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to make tracks now. So the best thing about that coffee was its strength. I actually feel like I've had a really good cup of coffee this morning. Caffeine's kicked in and I feel awake, which is unusual. I didn't have a bad night's sleep. I read my Kindle for a little bit, couldn't even finish one chapter. I got to sleep and then by 2 o'clock I was awake again. I was just aware that the wind had picked up. Watched a little bit of YouTube for 10 minutes, got back off to sleep, and the next thing I knew it was 4:30 and it was turning light. So all in all, not too bad a night's sleep. A little bit chilly, feet were cold. That's kind of just seems to be about standard for me, but other than that, no, that was all right. That was great. So about 10 miles left today, and then bearing in mind what time is it now, 6:15. I should be back for the train by around about sort of 10:30, and that'll be superb. I'll have to check the times though. So as you can see, I started to mist up a bit, and with the mist it brought some rain as well. Very, very brief shower, but the raindrops were big uns. So I thought, well, I'll put my waterproofs on. There's no sense in getting wet in the hope that it might stop. And then I put the waterproofs on, and what happened? It stopped. But I think this is going to be setting. It's going to be setting for a while. I'd rather not take the chance, and we'll just press on as we are. Probably got about 3.5 hours left, I think, or thereabouts. So that's the summit trig point of Brown Knoll at 569 metres, and it looks like the rain is now setting, albeit it's light. And the next objective is generally in that direction towards Mam Tor, and then we'll drop down into Hope and Finish. So if you've enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know if you've already done the Edale Skyline or you're planning to do it. I'm always interested in hearing from you. And if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, you'll get a heads up every time I upload a new video. So it looks like this rain's setting now. Thank goodness for these paving stones that have been laid. I can only imagine how awful it was trying to cross these moors without them. There's some boggy bits over on Kinder Edge as well, around Pim's Chair, that sort of area, the wool packs. And they've really taken a battering. And I would imagine in sort of wetter weather and colder weather, it'd be quite a bit of a chew to cross. Anyway, we press on. So that behind me is Lord's Seat. It's a 4,500-year-old burial mound. And if you think that's impressive, take a look at that view. That's the ridge line all the way along there, all the way to Mam Tor. It's just a shame that that rain's blowing through because it's a spectacular walk, it really is. Got a little road to cross down there too, and you can see back over on the other side of the valley where I was yesterday, albeit it's covered in mist. Right, I'm going to keep going. I think I'll probably be back at the railway station by 11 o'clock, all being well, so in plenty of time for the train. So this is the summit of Mam Tor, 517 metres. That's where we've come from. See up the top there to Lord's Seat, and we're going to follow this path, and we've got a great ridge walk to finish off with, another couple of summits to bag, and just really making the most of it. Probably got about 4 miles left, so not a massive amount, but this is really good. So from the road it climbs steeply to the summit here. I wasn't doing any particular speed, and it only took me 5 minutes to get to the top, so it's well worth the effort, even if you're just passing by. And the National Trust are doing a great job in, repairing the footpaths and dealing with any erosion that comes here, because I would imagine it's a very, very popular spot, and I'm very, very lucky to have had the summit all to myself. I don't think that happens very often. Then again, maybe the weather's got something to do with it. So I'm going to press on this way now and just eat up the miles. So that was the summit of Lewes Hill, or Ward's Peace, and it's the last summit of the day, and I'm glad it is, because I'm starting to get a bit of a sense of humour fairly now. The rain has come and gone and come back again, Now it seems as if it's starting to clear to some degree. And I'm just starting to feel a little bit jaded. And I think the reason for that is due to lack of water. Now I brought 2 litres with me, but when you take into account you're going to be drinking some of that, and you've got at least 2 dehydrated meals and drinks to get through, it doesn't seem to go all that far. So by the time I'd packed up this morning, I had about a quarter of a litre left, which of course I've gone through. So my first job when I get into the village is to get myself a drink. And there was no real other opportunities to fill it with water. I mean, I brought my mini soya filtration system, but when I tried to filter the water, there's so much soil in it, it was difficult to work out what the water content was in the soil. It was so brown and dirty, full of peat. Didn't really fancy drinking it, so I mean, I suppose I could have done if I'd needed to, but really didn't want to. But other than that, that's the sort of route's biggest challenge. The terrain is fairly good going. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 inclines, but there's nothing serious. There's nothing that's going to really bust a lung. And it's been good, and the footpaths for the most part have been pretty excellent. So yeah, a definite 9 out of 10 for me for this one. Right, I'm going to get going. I'll see you back at the train station.